I think so. Because
Okay, welcome everybody. I'm Astrologer Dawn. This is Jennifer Jule from the Empress Exchange. If you want to find out more about us, you can check out my website is astrologerdawn.com and Jennifer's is the empressexchange.com. Anyway, today I've been thinking about this Uranus energy, Aquarius energy, Pluto energy, because we're going into this period of 20 years of Pluto in Aquarius. Now, today, got today's chart, I know. Today's chart, we are at 0.35 seconds in Aquarius still, and it's retrograde. So, dates for going backwards and forwards until we're actually fully in Pluto in Aquarius. So, right now, until September the 1st, it's going to stay in Aquarius. Then it will go back into Capricorn, and then it will go forward, come out of retrograde on October the 11th. It will still be in Capricorn. And then on November the 19th, it will go into Aquarius for the next 20 years. So, yes, definitely. So, we've got this backwards and forwards energy, and they're very different. Excuse me, Capricorn, that rules structure, plans, the old, institutions, things that are solid. And Aquarius is like, huh? It's like freedom, the unexpected. Yeah, let me move around here. Very fluid, completely different kind of energy. The unexpected is the biggest thing because there is really no way to say what that unexpected is going to be. We only have to look in America at this past couple of weeks in politics. And of course, a lot of this stuff, Pluto rules politics as well. We only have to look at what happened in the change in one party's leader to a different party's leader. Unexpected, quick, quick, quick. Everything in place, quick, quick, quick. Not unusual. So that can happen in your own life, that can happen in your own company. But I wanted to see where it could possibly happen, First, through the sixth houses are personal growth. So depending upon where it sits in your chart, if it's in the first through the sixth house, it's very much about this is private. This is what needs to grow within you. What is it that you're here to work on? So, first house, when you've got Uranus going through your first house, and you can pull out your chart and see this, you can go get a free one. There are so many free charts online that you can see which house Pluto is moving through. And the house is the area of your life in astrology that it's going to bring into focus. So these are the things sort of to look for if you're recognizing some of this. So one of the biggest things is going to be your body. Now, that can be changing your hairstyle. That can be, I was born with this mole. I have no intention of getting rid of it. But if I wanted to and it was going through my first house, this would be a good thing to do because it is about appearance. It's new beginnings. It's the first impressions, your attitude, your identity, your approach to life. So what happens when Pluto goes through that first house, there's going to be a massive shift. It's like if you currently weigh 250 pounds, a friend of yours is going to see you in a year and a half's time and you're going to be at 125. And it's going to be such a shock. It's going to be that kind of thing, especially when it goes through the body. So if you start feeling like, wow, I'm changing the way I'm interacting with people, I really feel the need to change my impression, it's probably going through your first house. So what does that mean? I know, Jennifer, that you've written a book. What is the title of it?
it's your soul, Woman's Guide to Living Unapologetically.
Unleash Unleash Your Soul. I love that name. What are some of the things that we can focus on in the first house using the approach of chakras and what you have written about?
I'm actually really glad that we start with the first house here, and you're just going to go in order because everybody even asked me in the book because I have a
Oh,
copy right.
yes. Good. Yes. Go to our website and
Um,
buy one.
yeah, and And the chapter that I have, which is Happiness is in the Eye of the Beholder, talks about the 8 spheres of your life. And everybody asks me, well, when you look at the 8 spheres, where would you recommend to start? And I always say, start with your throat chakra, because
Mm,
your throat chakra, I equate to your character and values and your ability to speak about your character and values. Know them, speak them, own them, and be able to present yourself. And it is all about how you present yourself, how you are bringing your shadow to the surface, and understanding how you want to be perceived by the world. And that's through your character and values that you have.
love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, second house. The second house represents money. It represents your worth. It represents your daily routines, your possessions, your habits, your priorities, your job, your work ethic. Now, this is not career, but this is how you work,
Mhm.
the way that you work. And that second house, when you've got, there can be disruptions. When you've got Pluto in Aquarius going through that second house, you could unexpectedly lose all of your money, or you could unexpectedly win a jackpot. You go with a few girlfriends for the weekend to Vegas and you pull the handle on a machine and you go, does that say 1.6 million? And the answer is yes. It
Sounds like a lot of fun.
it does, doesn't it? And you're taking a risk which way it's going to be.
Mhm.
But it's also you're up and down with your self-esteem. And as long as it's like that and go, that's fine because we do question things.
Yeah.
So what can we do with that second house? How can we help ourselves?
So the second house, I always look at as your solar plexus. That is your power center, your judge who lives there, the ruler of money, finances, possessions that you have, your materialistic things. So really like taking a step back and understanding your financial state. Get honest and true with yourself about it. What is the money that you have coming in? What is the money you have going out? Reevaluate like all the subscriptions that you have. Do you really need them all going forward? Cancel the ones you don't need. But really look at your financial state, understand where you're at, get raw with it, get real with it, and then look at ways and ask yourself, well, how can I get to X or how can I get to Y if you find that you're not in the exact financial state that you would like to be at?
I love that. I love that. The third house, which is the mind, it's really, really all communications, but we also call it the mind, the thinking. It's your siblings as well, social activities, your interests, your neighbors, early education. So when you have Uranus, I keep saying Uranus because that is the planet that Aquarius actually rules, but we're talking about Pluto being in the sign of Aquarius. Oh, sorry, my astrology brain gets mixed up sometimes. Um, so Pluto in Aquarius, and remember, Pluto is about digging deep.
Mhm.
So when it's going through the third house, you're asking questions about everything, and it might come up unexpectedly. Maybe you've been involved with an organization for years and you've never questioned their ethics or their beliefs or what they stand for. Well, guess what? The chances are you're going to be questioning. You're going to be asking more in depth. There could be a change in the siblings. Maybe you get together more. Maybe you get together less, or maybe you have to come together because one of the parents,
Mhm.
has an accident or is at a different stage in their life. So it's you might get involved unexpectedly with more social activities. So, what are some of the things that we can do to support that?
Yeah. So this is probably one of my favorite chakras. It is your third eye chakra, right up here in the middle of your forehead. And it is about expansion and intellect, curiosity, that inner child. Like when we were young, we would always ask questions. Hey, are we there yet? Or how does this work? Or where do babies come from? And, all these things until we get social conditioning onto us. And suddenly stop asking and being curious about things, or being, creative around wanting to get answers. So looking at that and saying, well, how can I learn more about maybe the opposite of what I know today? And say, now who can I engage that maybe has a different viewpoint or a different perspective, and learn a little bit more and come at it from a place of openness,
Mm.
and curiosity from that. Now, I also look at it when we want to dive deep into ourselves as a way to really start to look at maybe your personality a little bit more, dive into things. And I talk about this in the book of personality tests. Learn a little bit more about yourself from a personality perspective. And there are thousands that are out there. But do a True Colors or a DISC profile or Myers-Briggs, and understand maybe why it is that you react in the way that you do in certain situations.
Mm.
Astrology, understanding your birth chart can help in that. Same thing with your human design chart, that can help. How you make decisions and why you make the decisions the way that you do, that feel natural to you versus when you fight that current. So really understanding and diving deep into your personality expansion and intellect, and really like growing your brain.
Love that. And of course, I'm very much big on
Oh yeah.
your human design chart, knowing it, knowing your authority,
Yeah.
knowing your type, and also knowing your astrological strengths.
Yeah.
Actually, your human design strengths too, because I don't like to
Mhm.
focus on any of the weaknesses. I think that's a waste of time. Let's just focus on the strengths and
Right.
grow
Yeah.
them, because there are other people who have strengths where we have weaknesses, and that's why we're going more into partnerships.
Mhm.
Here's an example, us two doing this,
Yeah,
recording this.
100%. I mean, this I honestly think we
Yeah,
probably could for an hour about this alone, but it is really about knowing your strengths, knowing where your gaps
yeah.
are. I don't like weaknesses, I like gaps. Know where
Gaps.
your gaps are, and then engage those that have those strengths, so that
Absolutely.
you can build something. And I'm getting goosebumps right now. That
Yes.
you can build something extraordinary because you have all the elements that you need to look
Yes.
at it from multiple
Yes.
perspectives.
Yes. Okay, the fourth house. So
Mhm.
Pluto means it's going to be digging deep into your home, your roots, your family, your foundations. This is emotion. This is self-care. This is the mother. This is children. This is women. This is femininity. So the fourth house, when Aquarius suddenly explodes into it, massive change, unexpected children born, unexpected divorces, marriages, moving in, moving out, moving states, moving countries. It can also be those things that would be happening anyway. It's just going to be more heightened, such as becoming an empty nester. Yes, for those people whose kids then go off to whatever it is that they do when they leave home. Um, yes, it's preparing yourself for that, and then it happens, but it will be even bigger, because the fact that Pluto, you're going to have to look at everything that you had lived up to now, and maybe some changes. So how can you get to grips with that?
Yeah. So coincidentally, the fourth house also aligns to your fourth chakra, which is your heart chakra. So right here where your heart would be. I equate that to your love and home, your home
Mm,
life, how you want to be loved, how you love. And when I say love, I mean holistically, for those in your family, not a romantic relationship. That's a different chakra point that we'll get to here very soon, but really about those that are around you. And really looking at kind of, what does your ideal life look like? What is your ideal day? What's that perfect day look like? But also feeling into and knowing that you have an alignment between an emotion that you are feeling and logically what your brain is translating that emotion as. There's one thing that uh, I know a lot of people struggle with, which is they can name just a handful of emotions: happy, sad, angry, depressed and, just a couple of things, there are thousands of emotions. And really diving into when you feel a situation or have experienced a situation, what are the emotions? And being able to ask yourself and dive into, okay, well, at the surface level, I'm feeling, angry about a situation. Well, why are you feeling angry? And so, well, because I'm disappointed in something. Well, why are you disappointed in something? And it's really taking layer after layer to understand the feeling emotion that you have so that logically your brain, because there's a concept out there called the three brains that we have, which is your gut brain, your heart brain, and your logical brain. And being able to connect all of those together, but without really diving in and understanding, here's the emotion that I'm feeling, here's where I'm feeling it in my body, and why I'm truly feeling the emotion. Logically, we're going to just fill in the gaps because that's what our brain does. Our brain just makes up stories and fills in gaps for us versus us really diving into it.
That's interesting because all I can think of is the human design chart when you're talking about this, of course.
Yeah.
You know, and this is how, for me,
Mhm.
and it feels right, how intuition works and the brain works. So the logical brain is full of fear. That's where it all sits. It's always scared you're going to make a mistake, you're going to step out of line, do something wrong, or you're going to get hurt. But not because it's not because it cares about that. It's just it cares about the fear of it. That's all.
It doesn't know it.
The no, and it does not like the intuition at all. Does
Mhm.
not like the intuition at all. However, the intuition, it doesn't care what the brain thinks. It's
Mhm.
irrelevant.
Right.
And it doesn't come from fear. Its answers don't come from fear. So we also, when this stuff is going on through the fourth house and you're looking at your foundations, you can be really looking at those beliefs and start being deconditioned, because really we need to decondition ourselves. Not everybody, and it's not always tons. Sometimes it's just something simple, but when it's going through that fourth house, you have to dig deep into what were the messages that I was given when I was younger,
Yeah.
that I bought into, that are not really me. And the logical brain will fight against that. Well, that has served you well, because you've done this, and this. Well, yes, it may have served you well up until the point of you started questioning it and wanting to do something different, because we grow and we evolve and we change. That's what we're here for as spiritual beings. So be very open when it's going through the fourth house, because there are massive foundational changes that we can't
Yeah.
even predict, because that's the thing about Pluto in Aquarius. You can't
Yeah.
predict it.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Great way to like tap into this, especially when this is going through your fourth house, is go for a walk. Don't
yes.
know where you're going. Go for a walk and just get to a corner and say, just close your eyes and say, should I go left? Should I go right?
Yeah. Listen to your
And
gut.
just listen to your gut. Like, don't put any effort. I had this situation this morning. My lawnmower had puked out, literally is puked out. I had to go buy a new lawnmower and just went online and said, okay, I got this thing, just go online and search for it. And I did, found one on clearance 30 miles away that I wanted. And I was like, okay, had I not done the search and had I just gone to the
Yes.
store, I would have gone to a totally different store, wouldn't have found what I wanted. And I got a great deal out of it because I
Yeah.
listened to what my intuition, it could be something that small. But as
Yes.
you listen and hit those things that are small, they're going to start to come more and more frequently for you.
Most definitely. Now, fifth house.
Yeah.
Romance, love affairs, play, creativity, children, fertility, joyfulness, self-expression, drama.
Mhm.
So Pluto, which is going to dig into that, it
Yeah.
might be asking you to dig into looking at, well, you say you want a romantic relationship, yet you have no intention of being clear
Right.
about what it is you want. So you're going to be
Yeah.
sent a lot of different types of people, and that will continue until you get that clarity of what are you looking for in a mate? There's nothing wrong with writing down that you want somebody who's funny and interesting and articulate and educated and well-traveled or financially secure, whatever those things are for you,
Mhm.
that are really important, especially when it's going through the fifth house. It's also going to be, because it's Aquarius, which is the unexpected, and it's Pluto, just because you've decided not to have children. Yeah, well,
Right.
I think the saying is something like, we make plans and God laughs, something like that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it can be in the opposite as well.
Mhm.
I know I'm having a little bit of a joke there that you might get a baby that you didn't expect.
Right.
But I'm also saying it on the serious side of, you might discover that you have more difficulty with that area and it's unexpected to you. You never thought that you wouldn't be able to get pregnant. And now you're going to have to look at alternatives. And that's okay,
Mhm.
because Pluto is going to give you the opportunity to really dig deep. And what are the alternatives? Do we
Yeah.
want to look at adoption? Do we want to look at surrogacy? While it's still legal in the USA, in some states, I don't know, most states, I guess, IVF. Do I need to go to a foreign country to do this? That might also be something that comes into the equation for those of you that live in America. Some of that can have to do with healthcare coverage. Some of that can have to do with the other countries do offer a wide variety of operations that can be very successful. So, it's going to be unusual, unexpected, not the way you thought it might be. Your sister might end up carrying the baby for you. The laws may change in the favor of contracts to do with your sister having a baby for you. But it's going to be very fascinating. Your creativity as well. You might have thought that you were never creative. Like, well, I'm not really creative, so I don't know how I'm going to be creative. Well, that's the unexpected thing, because Pluto's going to dig in deep. I mean, for me, I had something going on around this in my chart, not for the fifth house right now, but a couple of years ago. And I had kept on saying pretty much all of my life, I'm an actress, I'm a singer, I'm a speaker. That's where my creative energy comes out. But I can't, draw a stick figure to save my life. And so I told myself this about art. My art teacher only gave me a C because he saw how much I struggled to do every single thing. If there was a slab of clay, mine would just go flying off. I could never make anything out of it. And then about, I don't know, 10 years ago, I discovered mandalas. And it was because
Yeah.
I was doing it with my son. And
Right.
first of all, we did it out of a book. And then I thought to myself, well, I guess I could draw some of these things or different things to this, but I could draw this. Went to the wiki how, discovered how to create the mandala. I have plates and rulers and different size things that I make this. I know how to actually create a mandala. And then I just went and bought the colors that I like the looks of. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I've been giving them away as presents sometimes. And everybody's really pleased with them. I did it for my dad's birthday. I think it was last year. I gave him a mandala, which I created for him. And
Mhm.
it's like, wow, all those years of saying. So be careful what you say to yourself, because
Exactly.
I had boxed myself into,
Mhm.
I'm only a talented actress,
Yeah.
singer, and speaker,
Yeah.
and completely dismissed that other piece of me. Now I'm
Yeah.
looking to see about putting them on stained glass. I wonder what they would look like
Oh, that would be
on
beautiful.
glass. Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
so get creative. You just don't know. And what else can we do? What chakra is this?
Yeah, so this is the sacral chakra, which is your second chakra, and it is the ruler of creativity and romance, is what this is. So, sensuality, your goddess energy. So, women for sure really need to tap into that goddess and
Mm,
really like connect with her. And I actually do have a meditation to connect with your goddess that I have available. So if you are interested in that, come on over to the empressexchange.com and we'll get you set up with that. But looking at that, creativity is a lot of different things. I personally, I love to woodwork. It seems,
Ooh,
very masculine, but I design my own furniture and I build my own furniture
but
because of
you.
that. Yeah, and I absolutely love it. It's very soothing. One, I can still kind of use my thinking cap a little bit, but there's structure and organization to it, which I need in aspects of it, but I get to have that creative element to it. Coloring is a great way. You got mandalas or just getting a coloring book. Dancing is a huge one, especially in this energy because you're moving your hips and your sacral chakra is right in that area. So start to move it, start to like get some energy into there, and that helps those creative juices to flow a little bit more.
Mm,
Talk
mm.
about on the other side, besides creativity, when we like hit that romance side, 100% believer in know your love languages, especially if you are in that energy of, I do want to find my person. I want to find that partner that I want to spend my life with or share my life with. And know those love languages, know which ones that you like to do, but also how you like to receive as well. So many people don't know that, first and foremost. They don't know how their love languages, they don't know that they really are actually, and I talk about this in the book. I actually had a client who said, well, I'm a touch person. Like, that's my number one love language. No, I had her take the test anyway. I was like, I'm going to bet not. And so she actually went and took the test, and touch was her third love language. It wasn't even her,
Wow.
it was quality time.
Oh,
She needed quality time first, words of affirmation, and then touch. But her juices got flowing, her creativity and her romantic interest got engaged because of the quality time and the communication aspect of it before the touch. The touch was just the icing on the cake.
wow. Those are
So
great things to take. Yeah.
yeah, understand that, especially when this is moving through your house and when you want to find a partner, and know that so that you can be able to communicate that to them.
And in your astrological chart, take a look at it's definitely your natal chart and
Mhm.
what sign is in your fifth house. I mean, if you have Aquarius in your fifth house, you're going to go out with a wide variety of unusually different people. That is for sure. If you've got Capricorn going through your fifth house, not going through your fifth house, in your fifth house of your natal chart, that's going to be somebody more serious.
Yeah,
So, and that's okay. It's like there's no wrong, there's no right or wrong. You just are who you are. And
exactly.
you need to gear your life to that. Okay, on to the six. We're going
Yeah.
to do 1 through 6 in this video. We're going to be back where we do 7 through 12 because we don't want you to get too bogged down with all this information. But the last one on this video is the sixth house, which is your health, your fitness, your analytical nature. This also covers your pets, your work habits, organization, how useful you feel, the service that you give back for others, that is also very important. So when we have Pluto in Aquarius, you might change work habits unexpectedly. You might suddenly go, well, the way that I've been doing this is not working for me anymore, so I'm going to do it this way instead. That's great. That's fine. Maybe you were a person that never thought you'd have a pet. And there you are with 3 small dogs that you're chasing around or 3 cats. It's like you never thought that that would happen. Your health is going to become important because this is not about death because that would be the eighth house, but that's an unexpected death and not necessarily yours. And one will go into the next time. So this is your health. So it can be unexpected health issues. So it's not the health issue that kills you. It can be you get this rash and you have it for 3 months. It's unexpected. Doctor has no idea what it is. And then it goes away and it never comes back again. So it can be as simple as that. Unexpected health issues would not be connected to anything you might already have been having a problem with. So if you needed a hip replacement, it wouldn't be something to do with that. It's going to be a different part of your body. Now, most of the time, because it's the sixth house, it's physical. But also remember, you can create some of those health issues by holding on to things that are unhealthy for you. So you can create some of the stress in your own body that can cause some of those. So you really do have to work on making sure that you're not holding on to things. If you had an argument with a friend or something, and you were hoping that her life wasn't going well, remember that is you drinking poison and hoping that she would die. Best thing to do is sort out what your own piece is in stuff. Other people need to sort out what their stuff is. You only need to own your piece. That will keep you healthier. What else can you do? Which chakra is this for you?
Yeah, so this is the foundation. This is your root chakra, your connection into Mother Earth. So everything foundational wise, your physical health. This is about your ego as well. So simple things that you can do here. Um, Three free things, actually. Grounding. Go outside, step on grass, dirt, not concrete, but try and get nature underneath your feet for a few minutes and do some breath work. Do some breath work. Connect in, foundationalize, physical. There's so many scientific health benefits. So many studies recently have been done around grounding and breath work and being able to do those things. Absolutely amazing for your health. When we talk about your health overall, I have a concept in the book called Have Your Shit Together. There's a whole chapter dedicated to this. And, first one is about your physical health. It is about making sure that you know what your health looks like and going in and making sure that, whoever, whatever doctor you trust or like, go in and chat with them, whether that's a naturopathist, whether it's a primary care physician, anybody, and understand where you're at physically and what are some of the things that maybe you could do, especially if maybe you're feeling low energy. I'm at the age where I'm perimenopause, and some of the things that I need to do to combat some of the symptoms that I've been getting because of perimenopause. And really say to myself, I'm not willing to accept the social and say, I'm going to fight this and I'm going to do the things that I need to get my energy levels back up, to make sure that my hormones are balanced, to make sure I'm getting the right nutrients. For me in the last couple of months, I've actually lost 20 pounds, and I've done that through a couple of different things. Yeah, it's like crazy amazing.
Not really. Pluto's going through your second
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
So you really are
Mhm.
getting rid of things that are not working for you anymore. And
Yeah.
weight can be one of those things.
Yeah, weight is one of those things. But I cut out pretty much sugar from my diet. I only do natural sugar, like with fruits and vegetables. So I cut that out. I pretty much cut alcohol out. I've had maybe 5 drinks all year long, honestly,
Yeah.
and 3 of those were on my fabulous European trip that I just did for my birthday. And I've also found a love in bungee fitness more recently. I got
Yes.
certified in bungee fitness. I actually have a station out in my garage. I'm out there several times a
And
week.
are you talking about opening your own?
I am actually, because I loved it so much. I'm actually looking at ways and asking myself, well, how can I make this happen?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and really starting to tap into questioning versus statement driven and say, well, I want to open one of these. How am I going to make it happen? What do I need to do to make it happen? And have made significant progress and working towards that. And
That's good. That's good.
when we do
Yeah.
open it, I think it's gonna be amazing. I'd love to share this with other women as
Yeah.
well.
Well, the other thing is both you and I
Mhm.
will have Pluto and Aquarius going through our second houses. Mine relocated. Otherwise, it will be going through my 10th house
Ooh.
at the moment. Yeah. So I'm just looking at my relocated chart, and you don't have one. So that's the one that I'll be focused on. it will be in your second house longer than it will be in mine, because we're at different degrees. So mine will only be in the second house. It's been in there longer than yours already. So that makes sense. I'm older, but that's not really why it is. It's because of where our planets are. I'm a Sag rising in my relocated chart. You're a Sag rising in your natal chart. So, we've got a lot of things that might happen at the same time. They'll be different though. So, with it, keeping in mind it's our second house, and we both have defined egos in our human design chart. That's just becoming more of I am woman, hear me roar, because we may or may not need to deal with the money piece of that. We may be just wanting to deal with the I am woman, hear me roar. Since the year 2000, we have been in the, is it millennium for 1,000 years? Yeah, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of women. And we're only in 2024. And look at what is happening in this world. So, women.
Aquarius energy too. It's all about, the feminine
change.
support, change,
Well, and we're going to be focused on humanity. Pluto in Aquarius is focusing on humanity, but it's also focusing on individual freedoms. What do you want individually for yourself? Not what do you want for somebody else? Because I think that's called slavery. If you get to decide what happens to somebody else, that means they are enslaved to you. So I don't know, maybe not coming from America, I'm using the word incorrectly, but that's what it sounds like. Or subservient to somebody else, to somebody else's beliefs, wants, and desires. That's not going to work in this Pluto in Aquarius. Just not going to work, because people are going to rebel and say no. There'll be still mass movement around the world, because climate change is real, whether you believe it or not. Otherwise, people wouldn't leave their homes when there's no water and food and their kids have got ribs that you can see through their skin. They wouldn't leave. They would find a way to make it work, as all women know who have had to make it work in America when they've suddenly become single moms, or things haven't worked out the way that they thought that they would, and they've had to take on more responsibility. So this Pluto in Aquarius energy is all about change, and it's all about freedom, and freedom for the individual. So anyway, what we're going to do is we will do another video which has houses 7 through 12. And so look out for that. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm Astrologer Dawn. You can check out my website, astrologerdawn.com. In my consultations, I use astrology, human design, tarot, and I've been a coach for about 27 years. I cannot forget, like, there was 400 of us when coaching started in this country, and there's like hundreds of thousands of people now. So, and I mix a blend of metaphysical with traditional coaching. So check me out. And Jennifer, what about you?
Yeah, and I'm Jennifer Jule. I am a soul transformation coach. Love my chakras. I actually work with 8 chakra points instead of your traditional 7 or 12. So it's the 7 plus 8 chakra. And we're going to talk about that in that second half here. So I'll give you guys a sneak peek about what that 8th chakra point is that I work with. But much like Dawn, I use a lot of traditional, alternative, and metaphysical tools. My goal is to help women choose themselves and be unapologetic about living a life that fulfills them, fills their cup, and allows them to show up as their most authentic self and 100% of them for those that they love around them.
Very good. And we can find you at theempressexchange.com.
Empressexchange.com, and I'm on all those platforms as well, not just theempressexchange.com, but TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, and they're all the Empress Exchange.
You go. Okay, so we will see you next time. Thank you for watching, and namaste.
Namaste.